Welcome back to the True Tomorrows podcast, where we explore the wild side of future tech
Yeah.
and those mind-bending stories that blur the lines between science fiction and what might actually be possible.
Right.
I'm Adrian Smith, your host,
Yeah.
and today we've got a story that's going to make you think twice about turning up the volume. And I'm Julia Jones,
Hi, everyone.
ready to unpack the science and the ethics behind this sonic adventure.
I'm excited for this one.
Get ready, folks, because today we're asking you to imagine a world where sound isn't just something you hear. It's a force that can literally reshape reality.
That's right.
Oh yeah, we're going deep into the world of broken melody. A story that explores what happens when the power of music meets the dangers of unchecked ambition.
I love this story.
So this story kicks off with Max and his crew,
Yeah?
a group of artists and tech rebels who discovered this incredible device called the Dissonance Drive.
The Dissonance Drive.
But now this drive is unlike anything you've ever seen.
Right.
It can manipulate reality using sound waves.
Yeah, basically turning sound into like a tool, you know?
At first, it's all about the creative possibilities, transforming abandoned buildings into vibrant concert halls,
Uh-huh.
sculpting sonic masterpieces,
It's pretty amazing.
basically painting the world with sound.
What's so captivating about this idea is that it takes something we experience every day, sound,
That's a power.
and elevates it to this almost mythical level.
Right.
It reminds us of the visceral power of sound, how it can move us emotionally or even physically.
Totally.
Like when you feel that bass reverberating through your chest at a concert.
Exactly. It's like the story taps into this primal understanding we have of sound as a force of nature.
Like a primal force, yeah.
But as you might have guessed, this kind of power attracts some unwanted attention.
Of course it does.
Enter the consortium,
Oh, no.
a shadowy organization that sees the drive as a weapon, a tool for control.
Classic.
And that's where the ethical alarm bells start ringing, right?
Yeah.
Who gets to control this kind of technology?
It's a good question.
What happens when it falls into the wrong hands?
Exactly the age-old question.
These are questions we're already grappling with in our own world.
Absolutely.
Think about the debates around artificial intelligence, genetic engineering,
Yep.
and the potential for these technologies to be used for good or for evil.
Right.
Broken melody throws us right into the heart of that dilemma.
Head first.
As Max and his crew try to protect the drive from the consortium,
Yeah.
we're thrown into this epic sonic battle,
Oh, wow.
with sound waves becoming weapons,
Weapons grades.
sound gravity-defying maneuvers, and landscapes literally morphing in response to music.
That's so cool.
The story really captures that feeling of playing God with technology, that sense of wonder and danger mixed together.
Right, because we do love to play God.
But here's where things get really interesting.
Okay, lay it on me.
The more Max uses the drive,
Yeah.
the more he realizes he's not just manipulating his reality, he's fracturing the multiverse.
Oh, no, he's gone too far.
Each sonic manipulation is like a ripple spreading across different dimensions with unintended consequences.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Ooh, hold on a second.
Slow down.
Let's break down this whole multiverse thing for a minute.
Okay, yeah, because now we're talking multiversal.
So the multiverse is this mind-blowing concept from theoretical physics.
Yeah.
And it suggests that our universe isn't the only one, but rather one of many coexisting realities.
Right.
Think of it like this. Imagine each universe is like a page in a book.
A cosmic book.
Each page has its own unique story, its own set of characters and events, but they all exist within the same book.
Okay, I can see that.
Now, some theories suggest that these universes can interact with each other in subtle ways.
They can talk to each other.
And in Broken Melody, the Dissonance Drive is amplifying those interactions, creating cracks in the fabric of reality.
Oh, so they're poking holes in the pages.
So Max and his crew are basically messing with the cosmic balance without even realizing it.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
It's like cosmic vandalism.
It is, and it sets up this incredible tension in the story, because now Max has to face the consequences of his actions.
Oh, here come the consequences.
And those consequences come crashing down when he meets Dr. Ellis, the brilliant but troubled scientist who created the Dissonance Drive.
She's the one who started it all.
She reveals the devastating truth their sonic manipulations are pushing the multiverse towards collapse.
Oh no, she's like the Dr. Frankenstein of sound.
Imagine if all those pages in the book started tearing and blending together.
A cosmic paper shredder.
That's the kind of chaos we're talking about.
Yikes.
So they've gone from creating beautiful sonic landscapes
From artist to...
potentially unraveling the very fabric of existence.
That's a big oopsie.
It's a pretty heavy burden to bear.
It is, and it raises a huge question.
It is, and it forces Max to confront the ultimate question.
Yeah.
How far is too far?
That's the question.
When does innovation become reckless?
Right, like where do we draw the line?
That's a question I think all of us need to consider as we push the boundaries of technology in our own world.
Absolutely. Broken Melody is a stark reminder that even with the best intentions, we need to be mindful of the potential consequences of our actions, especially when we're dealing with forces we don't fully understand.
Forces we don't fully understand.
Right, and playing with powers beyond our grasp.
Definitely something to think about.
Definitely.
And that brings us to the end of part 1.
Already.
But don't worry, we'll be back with part 2 to dive even deeper into the sonic science and multiversal mayhem of Broken Melody.
Can't wait. I'm on the edge of my seat.
So stay tuned, folks, and we'll see you on the other side of the sound barrier.
Sounds good.
So we've established that Max and his crew are in a whole heap of trouble.
Yeah.
Having inadvertently nudged the multiverse towards a cosmic meltdown.
Oops.
But let's back up for a second and dig into the science behind this sonic apocalypse.
Okay, so you're saying...
You're making this sound like our reality is held together by a very fragile playlist.
Kinda, yeah.
Well, in a way, it kind of is. Remember, sound is vibration.
Right.
Energy moving through a medium.
Okay.
Okay, so shattering a glass with a high enough note. We get that.
Yeah.
But how do we jump from that to reshaping reality?
Right.
That feels like a pretty big leap.
It is a big leap.
It is. It's definitely stretching the boundaries of what we know about sound.
Yeah, it is.
But there are some interesting concepts in physics that make this idea at least a little bit plausible.
Okay, so tell me more.
Okay, so indulge me.
Okay.
What's the science behind sound as a reality-bending force?
Okay.
Think of it this way.
Okay.
We already use sound waves in incredible ways in our world.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Take ultrasound, for example.
Okay.
We use it to see inside the human body, create images, and even break up kidney stones.
Right.
Right. So sound can have a physical impact beyond just making noise.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And some scientists theorize that at extreme frequencies and intensities, sound could potentially interact with matter in ways we haven't even begun to understand.
So like rearranging atoms with sound?
So like rearranging atoms with sound.
Wow.
That's some next level stuff.
It is.
It is.
But I mean...
And we're not quite there yet.
Yeah, not yet.
But think about it.
Okay.
We're constantly discovering new things about the universe, about the fundamental nature of reality. What if sound holds a key to unlocking possibilities we haven't even imagined?
That's kind of the premise of the whole story.
That's what makes this story so captivating.
Yeah.
It takes a familiar concept like sound and pushes it to the edge of possibility.
Right, to the edge.
It's like Broken Melodies giving us a glimpse into a future where the line between science fiction and reality
that line
becomes blurred.
It's definitely getting blurry.
Speaking of blurred lines, let's revisit this whole multiverse thing.
Okay.
Could you give us a simpler way to wrap our heads around it?
Okay, so
Imagine you're flipping through a comic book.
Okay, a comic book.
Each page is a different universe with its own unique set of heroes, villains, and storylines.
Gotcha.
Some pages might be bright and colorful, others dark and gritty, but they all exist within the same comic book.
They're all connected.
Okay, that's a pretty cool way to visualize it.
I like that.
But how would something happening in one page affect the others?
Like if Superman punches Lex Luthor.
Well, some theories suggest that these universes aren't completely isolated.
Okay, so they can interact?
They might be connected in subtle ways.
Yeah.
Perhaps at the quantum level, where tiny particles can exist in multiple states at once.
Right.
So it's like there's a secret panel connecting all the pages.
A hidden doorway.
Exactly. And Broken Melody takes that idea and amps it up.
Oh.
Suggesting that the Dissonance Drive is like a sonic drill punching holes between those pages, causing the different realities to bleed into each other.
So it's like a multiversal blender.
That sounds messy.
It is really messy.
It is, and that's exactly the kind of cosmic chaos Max and his crew have unleashed.
They really messed up.
They've gone from sonic artists to accidental multiverse vandals.
And that brings us back to our favorite question.
Which brings us back to that crucial question. When does innovation become reckless?
When do we go too far?
It's a question that haunts every scientist.
Every artist.
Inventor, artist.
Every innovator.
Anyone who dares to push the boundaries of what's possible.
It's a heavy question.
And in Broken Melody, it's a question that takes on life or death consequences.
Oh, wow.
As the multiverse teeters on the brink of collapse.
So it's not just a theoretical question anymore.
It makes you think twice about the unintended consequences of our actions, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We might think we're in control.
Yeah, we think we're in control.
But sometimes we're just playing with forces we don't fully understand.
Right, we're tinkering with things we don't understand.
And the ripple effects can be far greater than we ever imagined.
Huge ripple effects.
It's a reminder that progress needs to be tempered with wisdom. And a sense of responsibility for the impact our creations have on the world around us.
Our creations have a huge impact.
And that's a great place to pause.
Okay.
We'll be back in a moment to continue our exploration of Broken Melody and the profound questions it raises about innovation, ethics, and the very fabric of reality.
I can't wait.
You know, as we've been unraveling this story of sonic manipulation and multiversal mayhem, there's one question that keeps echoing in my mind.
Okay.
The ethics of it all. I mean, Max and his crew started with good intentions.
Right.
They wanted to use the Dissonance Drive for creativity and art.
Yeah, for good.
But somewhere along the line, those good intentions got lost in the power struggle.
They get a little power hungry.
With the consortium and the sheer intoxicating allure of playing God with reality.
It's a classic tale.
It's a classic tale, isn't it?
Yeah.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
And in Broken Melody, that road leads to the very edge of existence.
And in Broken Melody, that road leads to the very edge of existence.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope.
Right. It makes you wonder, is there a point where innovation becomes reckless?
Right.
When does pushing the boundaries cross the line into dangerous territory?
Yeah, like how far is too far?
That's the million-dollar question.
It is.
And it's something we're facing right now with technologies like AI and genetic engineering. We have this incredible power at our fingertips.
We do. It's amazing.
But how do we use it responsibly?
That's the question.
How do we avoid the kind of unintended consequences that Max and his crew unleashed?
Right. We don't want to break reality.
It's like that old saying, with great power comes great responsibility.
It all comes back to that.
Exactly. We can't just focus on the can we.
Right.
We also need to consider the should we.
The should we.
And that requires a deep understanding of the potential consequences, both intended and unintended.
We need to think about the consequences.
Broken Melody really drives that point home.
Yeah, it does.
It's not enough to create something groundbreaking.
Right.
We also have a responsibility to anticipate and mitigate the potential risks.
We have to be responsible.
And that responsibility extends beyond the individual creator.
Yeah, it's a collective responsibility.
It's a collective responsibility as a society to engage in open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of technology.
Right. We need to talk about it.
We need to be asking ourselves tough questions.
Yeah, like,
what are the potential downsides of this technology? Who benefits from it and who might be harmed?
Yeah.
What safeguards do we need to put in place to ensure it's used for good?
We need safeguards for sure.
It's about finding a balance between innovation and responsibility.
Yeah.
Between pushing the boundaries and protecting our values.
That's the sweet spot.
And that's where the story of Broken Melody takes a really interesting turn. Because faced with the imminent collapse of the multiverse, Max makes a choice that's both heartbreaking and incredibly profound. He uses the Dissonance Drive one last time. But not to fight or to create.
So what did he do?
He uses it to preserve.
It's to preserve.
He crafts a haven, a pocket dimension woven from the fading memories of their world.
A haven, a safe space.
It's a desperate attempt to salvage something beautiful from the wreckage they've created.
It's a beautiful idea.
It's a bittersweet ending, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
A recognition that they can't undo the damage they've caused.
Right.
But they can at least create a sanctuary, a testament to the beauty that once existed.
A reminder of what was.
And it speaks to that enduring human spirit.
Yeah.
That even in the face of overwhelming odds,
when all hope seems lost,
we still seek to create, to protect, to leave some kind of legacy behind.
That's the human spirit.
And in a way, that's what we're doing here on the True Tomorrows podcast.
You're that right.
We're exploring these future possibilities, these what-ifs, that spark our imagination and challenge us to think critically about the world we're creating.
We're thinking about the future.
We're not just here to entertain. We're here to engage, to provoke thought,
to make people think,
and to inspire a sense of responsibility for the future we're all building together.
It's collective effort.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Broken Melody, I want to leave you with this thought.
Okay. I'm listening.
The future is not predetermined. It's a canvas we're all painting together.
A canvas?
And the choices we make today, the questions we ask, the conversations we have, will shape the masterpiece that emerges.
So we're all artists in a way.
So let's make it a masterpiece worth creating.
Yeah.
A future where technology and humanity thrive in harmony.
That's the goal.
And on that note, we've reached the end of another mind-bending episode of the True Tomorrows podcast.
Wow, that went by fast.
Thanks for joining us on this sonic adventure.
It was a wild ride.
Remember to rate and follow the show for more captivating tomorrow stories.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
We'll be back tomorrow with another thought-provoking tale from the cutting edge of technology and the human experience.
Until then,
stay curious.
Stay curious.
Stay informed and stay engaged in shaping the future we want to see.
Shape the future.
And keep those imaginations firing.
Let those imaginations run wild.
Who knows what amazing or slightly unnerving possibilities tomorrow holds?
Who knows?
Until next time, this is Adrian Smith, signing off.
Bye, everyone.